So in this section, we will definitely cover the dev test labs introduction and some setup scenarios. But before we proceed, I thought it's important to bring you to the use case scenario we are trying to cover here. So the scenario is that we have any brand academy, and that academy has a data science department, and that data science department has a faculty staff. They have research groups, and they have some external guest groups they would like to invite sometimes for their research. In our scenario, teacher A, student A, and test external user A really fit in those scenarios. But what they are trying to achieve is they are looking to establish a data science lab based out of Windows and Linux virtual machines. The operating system really doesn't matter for them. What really important for them is that they can run the Node.js application, and because they have some internal expertise around Node.js, and some people are good in using Windows operating system and using Node.js over it, and some people are very good in using Linux and Node.js over it. So beside having this data science lab, there are some very key objectives they want to achieve, and those are they want to resource template the things around this data science lab provisioning, especially the virtual machines inside. They want to have a role-based access to all those functions. They have to have some policies around those labs because the only way they can minimize the cost and control the role-based access is if they have a place to define those policy, and somehow the platform in the backend should work on those policies to help them. Some other objectives they are looking for is the lab should be very easy to set up and monitor. And since they are groups and they are working very collaboratively, for them, resource sharing is a very important and key factor. Um, Problem is that sometimes when you're resource sharing at this high scale level, you always get the older software bits, and sometimes it's very hard to cope up with the latest software bits available, whether it's from the operating system sides of the bits or application sides of the bit. So this is another thing they are looking for, that whenever their templates are available, they sh if they want, they should not be working on the older software bits. They should always be working with the latest software bits. Future extension. The thing is, it is possible that this lab is right now being used in a certain manner and certain operating system and functions are there. But what if tomorrow some other operating system and some other application group needs to be introduced and policies need to be working programmatically across all these templates, and there are so many things which can extend in the future which they don't know yet. So can the platform be extendable? In a sense that tomorrow if they have to program further or template further, the platform should support it. So in order to create this dev test lab, I have to first go to this new option, developer services and dev test labs. I have to provide the lab name. Just trying to keep the name short so that it's easy to use in the future. This is where you select the subscription in which you want to keep this charges or the billing coming to. And location is important because this way you can minimize any future egress charges, meaning any data going outside of Azure data region and you getting charged for that. So try to select something which is close to your boundary. So let's say East US is very near to me. This is an auto shutdown option, meaning all the virtual machines will automatically shut down at 7 p.m. in the evening, your local time. Behind the scenes, things are in the universal time in the Azure, but here from the interface perspective, this is your local time zone. Some virtual machines they do need premium storage, and if you select the standard storage option here, meaning you're already selecting those virtual machines who need the premium not available into your dev test labs. So if your plan is to use premium virtual machines, try to select the premium option here. In that way, you can utilize those machine options too. This pin to dashboard option is a very nice option, meaning it will give you a shortcut on your Microsoft Azure portal dashboard to directly reach to this lab so that you don't have to dig deeper into your available items. So let me create this lab. It might take some time. So now as you can see, this data science lab is created. Let me select this lab. Let me show you some key settings also around this data science lab. Remember, we have to create three different users for this data science lab: the teacher, the student, and the external user. Click on the users setting, click on the add button, select the dev test lab users role. Once you select the role, the users available in my Azure Active Directory will start appearing. Out of these three users that I have predefined for this data science section are appearing. Let's select those three accounts, select them, press the OK button, and you can see that these three users are now assigned to my data science lab as three dev test labs users roles privileges. Something around virtual machine policies. These are the settings which works around those settings. If you click on the allowed virtual machine sizes, you can see by default all the virtual machine sizes are available to the dev test labs users role. But my problem is I don't want to allow all those sizes. I'm only interested in giving them certain sizes. In order to achieve that, I have to click on the enable button. I have to select those sizes in which I am interested in and save this setting. Some other important settings around the virtual machine policies are that how many virtual machines a user can provision. So let's say I think I should not allow more than 3 virtual machines per user. And since I have 3 users, I think I should not allow more than 9 virtual machines in my total data science lab. If you remember when we were defining the data science lab, this 7 p.m. setting was already there. If you want to change it now, you can definitely change it. You can also see that there is an auto start setting available, which means by default from Monday to Friday, the virtual machines will automatically start at 7 a.m. in the morning. But if you want a different setting and different day setting, you just enable this setting and define your own settings and they will become into effect. Before I proceed further, I think it's important to know that how I define these users who are appearing in my users list. So if you see that Microsoft Azure logo, click on that, and by clicking on this Azure Classic portal, you can launch a window which will look similar to like this. After getting this classic portal, click on the Active Directory and go to your tenant. So this is a tenant where I have already defined these three users, which look like these three users are defined here: student A, teacher A, and test external user A. You can see two users are having the same domain name, which are part of my private domain name, but one is coming from outlook.com, meaning a live.com account. So this is how I define these three users. So in order to test the access for these users, this is I think is the best idea to test them. Go to this options button and open a new incognito window. Dial the portal URL for azure.com. So the URL is portal.azure.com. Let me try first entering as a teacher account. And you can see that after a successful login, I see the same portal with a limited access. In order to, in order to check what resources I have assigned, I'll click on All Resources button, and you can see that this data science lab is part of my assignment. If I click on this lab, I will see the same interface for the intro and the settings panel. Similarly, let me check if I can log in as a student and as an external user also or not. So I will close this window. I will open another Cognito window. I will dial the same portal, but this time I will use the student ID, which is student-a at anybrandacademy.com. And now you can see I also have same amount of assignments available. So if I click on all resources, you can see I have the data science lab assigned. Let me log out, and this time what I really want to show you is that not only the Active Directory users from Azure Active Directory tenant can log in, you can also invite some people from live accounts. And the example is we have created a test external account, which is text external user. I'm sorry, my mistake. This is test external user dash a at outlook.com. And since this is an external account to outlook.com, now my portal for authorization is going to be a different portal. And you can see that after the successful login, I'm back to the same dashboard. And by clicking on the all resources, I can see that this data science is also available to me. In my next video, we will see how we will work around the formulas and the custom images. Until then, see you soon. Bye.